Or do we not? Are we just doing
We're
this?
not using this
It's
one.
recording now.
Okay. So this is. Should we say this is the second pilot, or should we say this is the first episode?
You only have one pilot.
Taster episode. This is a taster episode / episode
first
1.
episode.
We're not really sure. We're just going to start off by asking a few of my deep questions.
This is Garden Chats, by the way.
Yeah,
Welcome
this
to
is
Garden Chats.
We're going to hopefully have like a theme tune and a logo. Hopefully, at some point. So today we've got all the people we had for the pilot episode. So that's...
Plus me.
plus
I'm Callum.
Callum.
I also do film production at Ravensbourne, so that's me.
And we have...
I'm Matt. I am between things currently. And I'm a filmmaker and photographer.
Yeah. So...
It's great to have Matt and Callan with us this week.
Yeah.
It's great to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thank you, Matt.
We're going to talk about fashion today. We've got another guest coming in later on who studies fashion at Ravensbourne with us.
Be a bit upsetting if she's not very
yeah.
fashionable.
What if she's not very fashionable? I mean...
I'm sure that won't be the case.
I'm hoping she's actually going to come because I haven't heard from her today. But if not, I'm sure it'll be fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to start off by asking a few questions, not to do with fashion, just to like loosen us up.
An icebreaker, my
An
favourite.
icebreaker? Yes.
Cue the icebreaker sound effect.
Smash.
Smash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that? People screaming and jumping off the Titanic?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'll start off with the same one we answered last week, which is, what star sign are you and do you believe in horoscopes?
This is interesting. I'm a Cancer.
Me too.
Pick up the Cancer
Mhm.
group.
When were you born then?
July 17.
I was July 17th as well.
No, you're not.
Oh my god.
So we
what,
share a
No
birthday.
way.
What? No way.
Wowza.
Separated at birth. Were
Maybe.
you born in the same year?
96 I was.
99.
Oh, shit.
Bloody hell,
No,
Jesus
that's a few
Christ.
years
Alright,
apart,
Okay. We're not related.
Mad thing.
Right. No, my mum's actually kind of a psychic. So
No way.
yeah, she has I know it sounds completely bizarre to like
Yeah.
anyone who isn't like is like skeptical. I mean, I'm quite skeptical myself, but quite a few times she's predicted things like several
Really?
weeks or months in advance, and
No
she has
way.
absolutely no idea what they relate to, but she just says, "Do you know this person? Do you know this person?" And yeah, she eventually found out that some guy was buried beneath a railway.
No
Whoa.
way. What?
But,
Damn.
yeah, and our house used to be haunted as well. So
Really?
Wait,
Yeah.
legit? Like, she was just like, there's a guy buried beneath the railway, and then they found a guy buried beneath the railway? Or...
no, it was actually she kept having visions of this guy. I think his name was Peter or something like that. And she met this woman through work, I think it was, and she was just like, it was like 50 years since my grandfather died or something like that, and then she was just like, oh yeah, and he was run over by a train and they couldn't retrieve his body or something like that, and my mum was just
Jesus
like, that
Christ.
relates to that. I don't know whether to actually, but yeah.
Wow.
She was telling me about it for weeks, and then that turned out as I
Can
know.
psychics contact the dead? Or
Uh,
is that
that's
something
like
different?
mediums.
Medium, yeah.
Ah, something different.
But yeah, you get like psychics, clairvoyance,
Yeah.
mediums. It's all kind of like one of the
Connected,
same.
fair enough.
But I see how people think it's very skeptical and like I don't
Yeah.
know.
Interesting, though.
It is really interesting. I am quite into all that.
Mm.
Just for the sake of being open-minded.
Yeah,
but-
yeah, yeah.
Right.
That's interesting. So what about you? Do you
Um,
believe in...
I'm a Scorpio, I
Yeah.
believe. I don't know what it means. I don't really know what horoscopes mean, but
I
like,
hate
know.
Scorpios.
Yeah, well, here we go
God.
then.
If you
I,
ain't Cancer, you're just scum. Yeah.
I believe in like spiritualism and good things will come to good people, all of that kind of stuff. But I've never like done anything with psychics or mediums or anything like that, so I think there's a whole scope to be explored. I'm open to the idea of it,
Yeah.
but I've just never really explored it myself so far. But I think, you know, like the idea of the yin and yang, the zen that kind of exists between nature and people, and, you know, if you're doing good things and you're acting positively and you surround yourself by positive people, then good things, you know, start occurring, which is quite intuitive, I think.
Yeah.
But it's just a nice like frame of mind to try and work into.
Yeah, like if you're good to other people, then you'll get kind of good energy back.
Yeah.
That kind of
Yeah.
thing.
And if people shit on you, then
Yeah.
slap them off a bit, they'll
Yeah.
get shit stuff happen to them.
Yeah.
It's true.
Might get run over by a train or something.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Kind of reminds me of Wiccanism. Do you know Wiccans?
Oh yeah,
No.
like you get like pagans and
yeah,
Wiccans
yeah.
and stuff.
It's
like that.
interesting. It's like kind of to do with nature.
That's kind of coming back, isn't it? Like witches and stuff.
Mm.
I think in America, a lot of people are saying that their
Yeah.
religion is being a witch,
Yeah, or
which is
Wiccan.
quite.
Paganism.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Crazy.
The rise of the pagans.
Yeah. Has anyone seen The Wicker Man?
No.
I've seen bits of it.
Like
When
the
they-
old
Is that-
one.
Is that
Oh.
the one with not the bees?
Yeah, that's the remake, I think.
Oh, the remake. I haven't seen the
Okay.
remake.
And they put the bees
With
on it.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, yeah.
The original one, the guy plays the policeman. He's called Edward Woodward.
Woodward. Wow.
Edward Woodward.
How much woodwood can a woodwood chop?
How much Edward can a wood? Yeah.
How much wood could Edward Woodward chuck?
Oh my god.
Yeah, mad.
Wow.
What's it about?
It's about, so a policeman goes to this like remote island because there's a missing child. So he goes there on his own and he's trying to find the missing child, and they're all like, oh, we don't
Yeah, it's
There was
really
never a
fucking weird.
child.
Is there a haunted house as well?
no.
No, that's that lady with the black veil and shit.
Woman
Woman in
Woman in
Black.
Black.
Yeah,
Yeah, with Daniel Radcliffe.
that's a similar story though, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like
Mm.
Go to a
missing
weird
child,
village.
weird house.
Mm.
People don't know about it. But
Mm.
Saw The Apostle the other day. That's quite similar because he goes. Has anyone seen The Apostle? It's on
No.
Netflix. Came
Alright.
out a few months ago. I don't know how
I'll
much
check it out.
everyone's into their horror
Yeah.
films, but yeah, no, it's kind of like set in the Victorian ages, and his sister gets captured by this weird cult,
Oh my god.
and they're like in the probably the Isle of Sheppey or the Isle of Wight kind of equivalent,
Mm.
and he has to go across on this boat, and yeah, he's kind of like that. They all like pray to this god, and it turns out that they've got this god captured, and they're like feeding it sacrifices and stuff just to keep the land fertile, and it's very
Oh my
Jesus
God.
yeah,
Christ.
it's a
It's
cool
weird.
film, really well shot.
Yeah.
what
I
about
like
like a horror film shot on Super 8 or something like that?
Yeah, that'd be
That'd be a
mad.
bit mad.
Mm.
Or like, yeah.
Star Signs.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like we've got. It's good. We're like
This
just
is, yeah.
breaking the ice a bit, aren't we? Shall I
What are
ask
you,
the-
Nolly?
I'm Cancer.
You're Cancer
I'm
as well.
7th of July, yeah.
Yeah.
7
I'm not in
7.
the club.
7.
Yeah.
The 7 July Club.
Yeah.
Cancer club.
Cancer Club.
Sounds a bit dodgy.
We need to rethink the name.
Okay.
And like, the sign isn't like the animal for Cancer like a crab.
Yeah,
it's like
it's
the
a crab.
worst animal.
Mm.
Like it's so
Yeah,
lame.
isn't it a scorpion for Scorpio?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'm a
I thought it
lion.
was a snake.
Wait, so what are you?
Is it
Leo.
a snake?
So I'm a lion.
Lion, yeah.
You're a leader, a natural leader.
Mm.
Hence why I'm.
King of the jungle, except lions don't live in the jungle. Whoa.
Oh my god.
Where do they live?
In
In
the
zoos.
Sahara.
Yeah, yeah. In this day and age, you know.
Cool.
I've got another question.
All right.
Completely not to do with what we were talking about, but
Why would you go and study a geography degree? yeah, that's one I ask myself quite a lot.
my dad did a degree in geography, and now he's a social worker. So.
Yeah,
So I think people just study it.
It
just
does.
For fun.
Yeah,
You've got
most of the
good
people
things ahead of
there
you.
were just kind of riding through.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't really want to be doing anything geography related.
They're just interested.
A lot of
in
people come out of it and go into like accounting and finance and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
Because you can do spreadsheets and
Mm.
that's about it.
Yeah.
Learn how to draw and make spreadsheets.
Okay, so my next question is, what do you dream about? Is there a pattern in what you dream about? or can you remember any weird dreams you've had recently, or
I
like
can-
from childhood or
I
something?
can give you dreams from when I was like a child.
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah. Okay. So there were like three. There are three dreams that I had that were kind of like repeating dreams.
Yeah.
So one, right, and I did a drawing of this as a kid as well. Like it was like a sketch with pastels and stuff.
Oh my god.
So imagine you're in a desert in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
and you're just like running as a kid, and there's these massive worms and shit that are just coming behind you, and like big scorpions as well, and they're just coming to like grab you.
You're a Scorpio as well.
Exactly, yeah. So then you run part, and then there's this purple house that you kind of reach. And I can't remember exactly, but I feel like it's a weird looking house, like a purple house and maybe like yellow windows or something like that. So, you know, it's quite like a surreal kind of house.
Right.
So maybe there's some influence from seeing like the work of, he's a surrealist, he does like the clocks.
Oh, Dali.
Dali.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that was just a weird one. That'd be like a recurring nightmare. And then I think eventually I'd just get eaten by these big worms and.
How old
whatever.
were you when you were having this dream?
Yeah, okay. So, this was probably about like between the age of 5 and 8 maybe.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
wow.
also, when I used to like wake up at night and go to the toilet, you know the Frosties guy, Tony the Tiger?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just walking down my corridor, and every now and then I just see the ghost of Tony the Tiger
What the
walking down the
hell?
corridor towards me.
That's terrifying.
And he just like, I walk through him and he's gone. But it would be like legit, like the ghost of Tony the Tiger, just like chilling in
He's
my
like,
jumping
there,
out, like,
great.
I
corridor.
like how you assume he's dead.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, that was
He's not on
fucking
TV,
weird.
that means he's dead.
Yeah. He's no longer with us.
That's really like terrifying for a kid.
I used to have another one. So imagine like a doll's house.
Yeah.
You got like your cross section cut out from it.
Yeah.
But instead of being like 4 floors, there's maybe about 20 different floors. And you got little rooms on each floor, and there's people doing stuff. And it's all in like a weird like sepia, like, you know, like imagine like a werewolf movie. It's all like a sepia tone. You've got like yellow lighting, kind of like browny colours, and there's just people doing stuff, and you're just on this constant like view, just like watching it. That was something that I remember as well.
Oh my god.
That's
That's
interesting.
so
yeah.
intense.
Really weird
Quite
shit.
vivid sounding.
Yeah.
That you can remember all that. That's
So you wouldn't be controlling these dolls, they would just be moving and doing their own thing.
They'd just be, yeah, it would
Yeah.
just be like watching life go on in front of you.
Wow.
Would they wake you up? Like when you dreamt them, would they wake you up?
No, like, I'd be in there for a good while, and then like I would wake up, but yeah, because it wasn't a good dream, you know what I mean? Like it was kind of that kind of nightmare, and you'd wake up from it and be like, what?
Yeah.
But one time, so my brother had a dream. He was like hanging off a pole or something at the seaside or something, and then like these crabs came along, and they pinched his hands till he fell off this thing. He woke up and he had pinch marks like on his hands.
Oh.
wow.
So I don't know,
So he
like
was just doing that.
yeah, he might have
Yeah.
just been doing it himself.
He
or
probably
something.
was, yeah.
Like,
Probably felt it and then dreamt that because maybe he was
He
doing
was-
it himself or something.
Subconsciously. Yeah.
Mm.
Has anyone ever had sleep paralysis?
No, but it sounds
No.
absolutely
Yeah.
terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't
It
move.
does sound really awful. I've never experienced it though, but I hope I never do.
One guy I know said he did, and it was just like the weirdest experience. Just
Mm.
like, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Because you can't move, but
Yeah.
your brain's still in that REM sleep. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure. So
yeah.
you're
And you-
locked in
yeah.
place.
Yeah.
Just to like it's your body's way of keeping yourself safe. So
Mm.
Body's functions like all stopped,
But
but
you're
your
still
eyes are wide
hallucinating
open.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds absolutely terrifying.
And it's always like just out the corner of your eye. You can never look directly. I
Mm.
think
Mm.
It's like
you feel like a pressure on your chest sometimes as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think the best way it's described is like there's this thing in the corner of the room, but you can't look at it, and it comes over to you, and you got this pressure on your chest.
What's that thing where there's like, it's got like a mythical name and it's like a little gremlin that sits on your chest? Oh, what is it? Do you know what I mean? In like old,
I've
there's
heard
some
of
old
it.
paintings.
Yeah, mate.
yes, I do.
I know it.
There is a painting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find it. Now.
It's got a name.
I know what you mean.
It's not a
Right.
banshee. It's got a name. Yeah, it's interesting. Do you believe that like what you dream about is like really important and meaningful to what No?
My dreams are fucking random as shit nowadays.
I don't
Like,
know about that.
Yeah, I think
don't know.
like I'll just be walking around underwater in a swimming pool, and then
I think
I'll
that.
end up like, okay, the other day I had this dream when I was in my old school, and then there was just like some kind of show going on, and I was supposed to be taking like a picture of everyone for the sixth form like final thing, and I know where the references came from because someone had mentioned like the school photo the other day, and stuff like that. You know where it's come from, but it's just your brain piecing together these weird things.
I
yeah.
don't know. I feel like every dream means something.
Yeah, I mean, I remember studying it in psychology, and it was all about like it's a manifestation of like, yeah, it was all Freudian about like there's like the latent content and all this stuff. So everything has a meaning, and it's all about bringing that meaning into light, and it's all to do with like experiences you've been through, and things are like symbolic for other things. And I think that's partially true, but you have to actually go through the process of talking it through and understanding what it is. Otherwise, you'll, like you said, you think it's just random.
Yeah, I think.
But that's not to say you don't have random dreams as well.
To me, it's like intuitive though. Like if you're dreaming about something, it's obviously on your mind. So maybe it's a good way of visualizing to yourself and clarifying that there's something on your mind. But it's not necessarily like anything special as such. It's just the way that your mind is visualizing the subconscious content that's like
Maybe.
leaked through. But then yeah, equally.
Like you said about you had a dream about walking underwater. Maybe it's like you're overwhelmed with something. You feel like you're drowning in work or emotion or something.
I mean, yeah, no, I get that. Like, if you're in the dream, like, I don't think there would be context because it was just like, it was like my local swimming pool, I think.
And how did you feel in the dream?
I couldn't say how I feel because I wouldn't say that was like.
Wait, okay. Because I feel like that's the key to working out your dream is how you feel. Because like you might be really happy, you might feel like you're enjoying all this, like being surrounded by something, or you might feel like shit, like I'm drowning.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, my friend did an essay on it, and she found that like it's a way of self-torturing yourself, like the way you choose to dream. Like if you have a nightmare, it's like a way that you're torturing yourself because you've like manifested that you want yourself to feel like that.
That's awful. That's really sad.
She was getting into it. It was really weird. Some of the things how like we see ourselves, for example, drowning. We want ourselves to feel like that. We might not know that we want ourselves to feel like that, but that it has to come from somewhere, surely, for it to come into our brain.
Does anybody know a guy called David Firth who does like salad
I watched it
fingers
last
and stuff
night.
like that? Yeah.
I watched the new one last
He
night.
he does another series called Sock, and that's all based on dreams that he's had.
Oh,
And it's like he's got one of them where he's moving really, really slowly down a hallway and he's trying to get away from something, and it's just lots of things like that. But yeah, it's pretty interesting to check out. I did find the painting that Henny was talking about. It's called The Nightmare.
What's
It's
it
by
called, though? There's a creature.
yeah, it's an incubus,
Incubus.
Yeah.
Incubus.
which is like a male succubus.
Yes.
What is it then? It puts pressure on you.
So
Basically
basically
sits on your chest. It's I'll show you.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the painting. You've probably seen it.
It's just a painting where, and there's lots of different paintings with that thing where it's just like an angry little man or woman just sat on your chest. And
Makes me
sleep.
feel really uncomfortable looking at it.
But I find it interesting.
But I think from what I've read about sleep paralysis, a lot of people do experience like something.
Yeah,
something sitting on
pressure
their
on your
chest.
chest.
For sure, yeah.
I think that's probably one of the earliest examples of sleep paralysis. Yeah.
Even like when you're like not sleeping, like how many times have you guys? I've been through like something really intense, like something really emotional, and then like I'll feel like I'm drowning. Do you know what I mean? Like when everything hits you, and then you find it hard to breathe.
What,
Or was that just to me? Not in my sleep, like when I'm like in my day-to-day life, if a lot of stuff.
Is it like hyperventilating?
Not even. I just remember, I don't know what happened a couple of weeks back, and like I was processing it all, and it just all hit me, and it was all like these waves of like rushes of these like feelings, and I was just like felt like I was drowning. Kind of, yeah, like a panic attack, yeah. Well, like a very small one. Like I was just feeling really like sort of felt like I was drowning.
Overwhelmed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like very overwhelming.
Nally, what do you know? Do you remember any dreams you've had recently?
Let's see, I remember thinking about the dream I had recently, but I've completely forgotten it. And I remember
Do
thinking
you
about
remember anything from your childhood? Or
I remember having one very specific nightmare when I was a kid. I was in my sort of security guard just walked past. I was in my sort of kitchen in my old family house, and and I was having breakfast in the morning, and for some reason we owned a radio, and the radio was on, and I was sort of listening along to the radio, and then you know how like there's radio commentators who start talking, and then he started talking to me, but like sort of teasing me, saying really weird things, and it was like super scary because like he was talking directly to me, and I felt so like.
So you felt scared?
Yeah, because he was like, how does he know all this about me? Like, how is he talking to me? He's a radio, like, I don't know, that's all I remember, and it was super scary, and then I remember waking up feeling really, like, fucking terrified. I was, like, 8 years old or something.
I'm trying to work it out, like, what you would have been thinking. Like, it's like you're scared of people you don't know knowing
Yeah,
who
maybe.
you are, or, like...
Yeah. And it was the fact that I was meant to feel really safe because I was in my living room,
Yeah.
and the fact that like
You don't feel
this
safe.
voice, because I love listening to music, and then like the music went from radio music to like a random person's voice talking to me, and then like
That's
and then it was just
terrifying.
like at first I don't even think it was like aggressive, but just the fact that he was able to communicate with me, it was like I don't know, for some reason it just really scared me. I was very young, so.
It's interesting, though.
Mm.
If you were listening to the actual radio though, and then they just all of a sudden turned their like conversation specifically to you, and you were just listening to it like in real life, it'd scare the crap out of
Yeah,
you. So
yeah.
like
Pretty
in your
trippy.
dream,
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you guys understand. It was very, very sort of intense. Mm.
It definitely sounds it.
Yeah, dreams are a weird one. I for a long time I tried to write. I kept like a dream journal, but I have very bad handwriting. And then trying to write immediately after waking up from a dream sounds easy, but it's not. Like I remember looking back at this journal, it's just the most messiest writing, and I'm just there trying to like decode what I've written.
On the topic of dream journals, a lot of people have you heard of something called astral projection?
No.
It's basically like a lot of people practice it. I don't know how viable it actually is, but people kind of go into like a half sleep where they say that they can leave their body
Right.
and they can go travelling places and
That's
they can go all over
insane.
the world and stuff like that. And there is a certain way to do it, and one of the ways is by keeping a dream journal so that you know when you're in a dream.
Yeah.
Because you're subconsciously taking note of all of the signs.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's
but
crazy.
yeah,
Man.
I kind of like lucid dreaming, like where you
That's
can
it,
take
it is the
control
same
of it.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to lucid dream for a very long time, but I could never do it. It's really hard. Yeah.
You've got to really work on it.
Mm.
Amelia's like finished work. Should we pause it?
Sure, we can wrap it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was very good about like what did we cover? Star
Dreams.
signs and dreams.
Star
Yeah.
Star
signs.
signs.
Everything other than fashion, I think.
Yeah, but still, it's still interesting.
a
That's
bit
good.
of films at the beginning.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got to meet our new guests. Get to meet our
Yes.
new guests. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening
I'm
to
so
part one.
forward for such
Thank
things
you.
as
Thank
this.
you.
Yeah. I'm gonna hit the little red button.